Wonderful. Good morning to you, Grenada, Carriacou, Martinique, the rest of the Eastern Caribbean. It's exactly 9 o'clock in the studios of Classic 105.5 and 105.9 on the FM band. Welcome to The Point for today, the fourth day of the month of January. Yes, it is the fourth day, and we're saying morning to those of you that's on Classic 105.5 and 105.9, and certainly those of you that's following us and GBN Television, Channel 7, Channel 11, and Channel 20 if you're in cable, or you're logging in via the World Wide Web at www.gbn.gd or via our Facebook feed or YouTube channel. Indeed, it's a pleasure being here with you for this, the fourth day of the year, our second program, in fact, and we say thanks for being part of the conversation. I'm Joseph Cadore, and I'll be here with you for the next hour in the first instance, and extensively keeping you company up until 12 midday. It's a new year, and it's a year when normally we get into resolutions. We start planning for the in the hope that better would come in the midst of all of the challenges. And certainly, when we plan, we look to our leaders, we look to those in authority, and those in a position to make decisions to help guide us as we gauge our progress into our advancements into the new year. And certainly we had the Prime Minister, the Right Honourable Deacon Mitchell, in his holiday presentation. We're going to show excerpts of that, and so then we'll have a conversation surrounding it. I think one of the highlights of his message was the fact that the year 2023, it holds a lot of challenges in store for us, and certainly it would require each and every one of us to make changes, make adjustments as to how we navigate through what no doubt is going to be a turbulent 2023. So before we get into the conversation, so that the conversation will surround that, and I want us to have a conversation as to what can we do? What can government do? Suggestions. What can we do as individuals, as organizations, to help soften and massage the path forward for our families, for our community, as Grenadians, as nationals, on this little piece of rock that's called Grenada. So we go to the story that was delivered, prepared by Beverly Telesford, and then we're going to jump headfirst into the conversation. Master Control?
During his national address, Prime Minister Mitchell alluded to a year which would test the mettle of the leadership and the people as a whole. He notes the fact that the NDC administration has set ambitious targets in the first of its 5 years in office. Prime Minister Deacon Mitchell entered into the new year with optimism that the path to sustainable development would require a collaborative approach from all parties.
We are also mindful that 60 months or 5 years may seem like a long time, but in the scope of governance, it can go by very quickly. As we embark on this journey of transformation and positive change, our success as a country and as a people requires us to also transform our thinking. To move Grenada forward at the pace that we would like, we need every Grenadian, at home and abroad, to be a part of our nation's progress.
The Prime Minister reiterated the importance of transformation, which has been the government's watchwords. His plea for cooperation comes amid times when global economic changes are having a significant impact on the cost of living locally.
The threat of climate change on its own, and the very real and existential effects that sea level rise holds for the future of our island state, is enough to help us realize that we need to band together as a nation and also as a region. The negative fallout from the war in Ukraine, on the heels of a devastating global pandemic, continues to adversely affect global supply chains and increase the cost of food and fuel, and worsen an already high cost of living. In light of all of the above, no one is coming to save us. We must save ourselves.
Prime Minister Mitchell beckoned to all Grenadians to embrace the opportunities to grow that will present themselves in 2023, as they will contribute towards economic and social advancement of the country. For GBN News, Beverly Telesford.
No one is coming to save us. We must save ourselves. The words has been resonated there by the Prime Minister, hinting to us that the next 12 months, the next year, is going to be one laden with lots of challenges, and no different from what we've experienced over the last couple of years, and certainly, and that's just the path going forward. But it certainly calls for collaboration, it calls for unity, it calls for each and every one of us playing our part in navigating our own personal lives and the lives of all of us as Grenadians collectively. This morning, that's where I wanted the conversation to surround as to what can we do as individuals to help address and deal with some of the issues that the Prime Minister has articulated to. We got a caller on the line. Good morning, caller. You are live.
Good morning, Uncle Joe.
Good morning to you.
And how you do?
Wonderful as always, thank you.
All right. Uncle Joe, the Honorable Prime Minister is doing, I think, all the right things. I disagree with one, but I wouldn't go into that now. But I think he's doing the right thing. He's on the right track. Uncle Joe, we have to, if we really look back and see where this Mitchell administration take the office from, our road, our health service, our every ministry, really like zero going down. And so far we can see he's trying. But, Uncle Joe, he cannot do it by himself, and I'm going to point out some of the ways that, in my opinion, need boosting. Majority of our ministers and senators riding on Deacon Mitchell, the Honorable Prime Minister, ticket, meaning that in their constituents, they're not holding the end. Permit me, please. Even Prime Minister, even the Christmas time, the ministers, the Prime Minister make it his duty, going like a ordinary civilian to the villages and meeting and greeting and everybody. With the ministers, in my opinion, some of them, like they're above that. But everybody looking, Deacon is a good man, so I will support. The other thing is, in my understanding, people talking, you cannot get an appointment to see your representative. When you call to make your appointment, I was told, submit to correction here, that you have to explain to the secretary why you want to see your minister, what is your problem. And she or he will say to you, I'll take it to him and get back to you, and that's the end of it. That's one right there. I think they need to build up on that. Two.
But let me ask you, though, before we get it, what, in your estimation, is wrong with that?
Yes, I tell you, there are certain things. I'm not hearing you. Here, there are certain things you need to discuss. Sometimes we say certain things you do not feel free discussing it to somebody with that you do not know, because normally it passes from air to air. And when you go direct to the minister, you can say, I spoke to him or she. Now, sometimes you lay a message, you convey a message to the secretary. A matter of fact, in speaking to the secretary, she or he may not see it fit. And sometimes that never reached to the minister.
Well, would you probably assume, because different ministers, not just ministers, different individuals have different they address things differently. Some people may have an open door policy, and some, because of their schedule, they would ask, okay, if I go to visit the Prime Minister, some people, as you can well appreciate, they go to a minister's office or anybody's office to discuss trivial matters that can be handled by other individuals. So if, for instance, you decide you want to go by the minister to address some policy, the minister may not necessarily be the one that's dealing with that directly. And I mean, and while I understand the point that you're making, I think maybe what needs to be done, if I'm going to the minister and there's an intermediary person and I don't want to discuss it with them, I could say to them, I want to discuss matters of national interest, some personal matters that is close to my heart. I don't think you necessarily have to spill your belly up to say it in details. You find ways to explain health-related matters related to my community. So I don't think anything is necessarily wrong with that, and that's not something that is new and specific to any one administration. That's just my take on that.
No, but Uncle Joe, this is my point there. Uncle Joe, this is not new, but when you go to the secretary and you have to tell her in details, he or she, and if you will not tell her, he or she will tell you, you cannot see the minister, end of quote. And even if you give he or she the details, she said, I will discuss it with the minister and get back to you, and that's the end of it. Even, I tell you so, in the Prime Minister office, in my understanding, submit a correction. He will see when you call to make an appointment at his office in St. David's. The secretary will say to you, I was told, we only see people here from the constituents. Go back to your area. Now, or go to the Prime Minister's office in the garden. I was told when you call the secretary there, she also wants to know what is the reason. Well, and I feel it's kind of not invading your privacy, because I want to go to the Prime Minister for something private.
Well, I understand in one vein, but at the same time, you have to understand that the Prime Minister or any public official, at the end of the day, they have to manage their time. And if they are allowed to speak to every and anybody that walks into the office and say, I want to speak with the Prime Minister needs to prioritize. Even me, when I'm at my desk and individuals call, I will sometimes say to the receptionist, okay, take a message, I will get back to them. Because at the end of the day, it's about managing the country and managing time. If there's something specific you're getting at, then that might be a different case. But I see no problem if somebody's asking you, why would you like to see the minister? So at least when the minister is coming to speak to you, even though maybe you have to make an appointment, he comes prepared. Okay, this individual is coming to speak to me about some project up in wherever. Imagine you walk into the Prime Minister's office to ask him about some road in the back of where. He's probably not thoroughly briefed on it. So I think I see nothing wrong with it. If you're saying that there's a general closed-door policy, and I'm saying that politicians, they must be open to the constituents and the public. But that process, my dear lady, I say, in all due respect, I think it must be managed, notwithstanding whether it's a politician or you go to anybody's office. Time must be managed.
Well, Uncle Joe, I respect your opinion, but I still think if you have to discuss certain things with your minister, you don't have to outline it full detail to the secretary before he or she can make your appointment.
Well, I'm not saying that you detail it. That's where we learn. We learn our summary skills. Our summary skills.
You have to detail it to the secretary.
Well, if that is the case, that's a different story. But
that is what I'm trying to say from morning.
And I understand if that may just be something specific, but.
And when you tell them the details, they say, I will discuss it with the minister and get back to you, and they never will get back to you.
And then I suggest that's where there are different options that you can use. If you can't get the minister in his office, then maybe you go to the constituency, you try an alternative route. Just my suggestion, though. But thanks for your observation.
Okay. Uncle Joe, have a good one.
Thank you. All the best to you.
Okay. Bye-bye.
435-2041, that is the number on the inside. I think, while I understand, everybody wants to have a conversation. But I think outside of even whether it's politics, you go to the doctor, when I go to visit the doctor would ask you, the receptionist would ask you, what is the nature of the visit? So at least you prep yourself for what the conversation will be. You come to wherever you go to see the manager of Nawasa. I'm here to see the manager. In what capacity would you like to speak with the manager? Depending on what he's doing, he has to be able to manage his or her time. Good morning, caller. You alive? Hello, caller. 435-2041. And that is the number on the inside. It's also on screen. We say thanks for joining the program. We go back to the telephone. Good morning, calling you alive.
Yo.
Good morning. How may I help?
Yeah. Concerning that thing I told you about in St. George's Day, I passed there again to see if anything was done. All I've seen is more shit pile up inside that area.
And that's exactly where?
That's right by Bargain House, the alley to go off and go on to the other street.
That's the alley that they call what, P Alley?
Yeah, I think so.
P Alley.
And shit and after that garbage. Somebody needs to do something about that. That's the heart of the town. So I don't know.
Okay,
the representative down there is called Joseph. They need to walk around town and see what's happening because tourists coming into that area now and see this thing. You know what they're going to paint a picture about Guinea?
Yeah, that area has, for since Ted Memorial, for some reason, has always posed.
Yeah, but they need to do something about it. I mean, I don't understand why all the politicians come, and it's just the same way.
I'm with you, sir.
They need to look into that.
When I'm through, I'm going to see if I get somebody in environmental health to
look at this thing, because this thing is real mind-blowing.
Thank you. All the best, comrade.
Yeah.
435-2041, that is the number on the inside. The PM articulated that the 2023, and even without him saying that, I think each and every one of us have estimated in our minds that the new year is going to come with its own challenges. But what can you and I do in our own capacity as citizens to help address the situation? Good morning, caller, you're alive.
Morning, Joseph, and how are you?
I'm wonderful, thank you.
I'm calling on behalf of a person who is very much in need and trying to get the people in the constituency who are Tempe, St. George, the Northeast people. We want to talk to them about help for a neediest person with very much need, and you cannot know. You don't know who to call, where the office is, and you don't get to no help. You call in, no one is helping. Could you tell us what the Ron writer or what his name is with his offices, please? Because we can't get the help for the people that need help. It's not coming around. I think it will come around in all the constituency, if you like Tempe, St. George, and other places.
But have you, so Mr. Northeast, have you visited the office?
Yeah, the person really in need of help, very, very much in need.
No, I'm asking, but have they visited the office?
No, they know where they have. They don't have an office. You don't have a number to call, and you don't know where the office is. You know how to reach them, so you cannot reach them without a number.
Northeast doesn't have an office. But
no,
okay,
for Tempe.
Have you then tried getting the NDC's headquarters?
We don't try anyway. I just trying to get a number to call. So
well, I don't have a number off my head, but I know.
You won't have a number off your head, but if you talk to the people, you must know where I'm talking about and what I'm talking about.
No, I understand what you're saying, man, but I'm saying I'm not in a position to give you a number on air right now, as I'm saying. But I'm almost 100% certain that any one of the different NDC offices would be able to tell you what the constituency numbers are.
Because this person is very, very much in need.
Right, and I'm understanding that. So I'm saying if one route does not work, then there is a plan B.
But someone come around a time and they say, no, they're not belonging to that side again. They have discussed someone else. You don't know who to call, what you should do to get the help. And the person I'm talking about is very much in need. And I'm understanding. The building is coming down on them. They need help, a shelter over the head. They have children. And she wants help.
I am
and the only help she could get is from the government to give her helping hand because you don't have a father in city.
But my dear lady, and I'm trying to offer you some help, offer anybody that's associated with them. If you can't get them through one and not, you don't have a number, I'm almost certain that the NDC, the headquarters, the party office, will have contact numbers for. Speak with somebody at the party office then.
The party office, what number you could call this with?
I'm saying I do not have a number on me, but whoever it is, if they have somebody, a young child, I can help them get the NDC's party office. It is in the phone book. I don't have access to one, but I'm suggesting that's an alternative route that can be taken.
Well, how do you know where the NBC office is when you don't, that nobody can tell you where it is? How would you know?
You do not need to know where it is physically to call, ma'am. If you go to the phone book, I'm almost 100% certain that you look for the National Democratic Congress, their office, the number would be listed there.
The number would be listed there, and when you call the number, nobody answers because that's not the number. And what I want to tell you again, Joseph, I am not seeking interest only for me. I'm seeking interest for someone very much in need, and if the news could go that someone will hear, then that person very much in need of a help for them and their children. There's a mother live alone and she have 4 of them trying to care for. Okay. And the building, if they live on, is really badly in need of help. The bill is coming down, it's shifting from the pillars.
I
No
think,
help.
my dear
She
lady,
needs lots of help, and she must
I
get
think
it from
we
someone
are
else.
stretching the conversation beyond its natural boundaries. I am not discounting that the person needs help. I am offering some timely suggestions as to what can be done. If you can't get the rep at one office, then maybe even the very same minister, he has an office, or there is other NDC offices. Call one of the alternative office and let them know I'm trying to get a number for the constituency office at that location. That's all I'm humbly submitting to you, my dear lady.
Yeah, when you call another office, they tell you they're not for them. They would pass it on. But they don't pass it on. So
Well, I would think in that case we have to keep trying. We have to keep trying.
All right, and one thing I want to tell you again, Joseph. Now I will tell you about me. Now I am 86 years. And when Blossom was there and I sang for her on the whole wall here and they vote for me and they said, have give me something. They put it where you could go and pick it up. But now I sing for you all in 2022, where my age is 86 years, singing what child, not child that no? Oh, holy night. You this thing, don't tell me. I make my singing my voice and there for people to hear. Because when I sing for GBN,
but my dear lady,
listen to what I say.
But you see, I don't. If you could just hold for 1 second, please, ma'am. And I respect the fact that you're an elder, but you and I had a conversation regarding that as to what we are going to do. So I'm not sure why you're opting to use this platform when you and I, just before the holidays, we had a very specific conversation. And I said to you, once we're back from the holidays, we're going to get you. You did make request that the gift be dropped at a secondary location. We've had that conversation.
Joseph,
you and I did that one-on-one.
Joseph, you promised you're going to call in 2 days. I'm going to call today or tomorrow. A whole week and 2 weeks past, you never say nothing.
And then that was...
Just listen to what I say. I'm just telling you.
435-2041, that is the number on the inside. And with all due respect, I understand that, but sometimes we need to be able to appreciate time and place. Time and place as to what we need to get things addressed. We often assume that because it's an open line that we can call and go on and on over simple matters that can be addressed in different ways and format when there are other matters of national interest that we have time to address. 435-2041, that is the number on the inside. We go back to the telephone lines. Good morning, caller.
Hello, Joe. Good morning.
Good morning.
Happy New Year to you.
Thank you. Many happy returns.
I did suggest that probably like in the days of the revolution, we declared the year something, and I said the year of food security. But I want to add something, Joe, and that is food security and road security, because 2 fatalities in the first 2 days. I don't know if our drivers speak to themselves when they see, somebody dead as a result of driving. Like just before the end of the year, we had an accident where a guy lost both legs. I mean, do people sit back and think, today, Joe, you walk into work, tomorrow you're in the hospital legless? Do we sit and think about that? And so we need to and finally, Joe, I mean, you guys manage your program, but when I look on the TV, I said the name of the program is To The Point. Have a good day.
Thank you very much, sir. Got that to the point. 24 minutes gone past the hour in the morning time. We'll take a quick commercial break, very quick commercial break, and we'll be right back, right here on To The Point for today, the 4th day of the month of January.
Wait to see my granddaughter.
That's not how you cross the pedestrian crossing.
Really? One day I just woke up and I saw pedestrian crosswalks on the road. No one really showed me how to use them properly.
Well, this is how it's done. You never cross before doing these things. They might save your life. First, when you get to the crosswalk, you stop. You look left, you look right. If there's a vehicle coming, you put your hand out, making eye contact with the driver, indicating that you want to cross. And only when the vehicle comes to a complete stop, you quickly cross to the other side.
Stop, look, hand out, eye contact. Wait for pedestrian to cross to the other side, then you happily continue on your journey. This message is brought to you by this group of insurance companies, the Traffic Advisory Body, and the Traffic Department.
Who does man of the party? Tell them it's 4-7 trade. Shout it, let them know where we represent 4-7 trade. Who's the body's passing? 4-7 trade. They're no crazy like
Thank you. Welcome back to the program. 26 minutes gone past the hour in the morning time. It is to the point and open line, and we're trying to get your own thoughts and impressions. The Prime Minister having intimated to us that the 2023 is going to be a difficult year. What can we do in our individual lives to address some of the concerns or the very issues that affects us on a daily basis? We go back to the telephone lines. Good morning, caller. You're live.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, well, concerning the statement that the Prime Minister made out of whatever he said, I think he's on the right track and he's saying a lot of positive things, and because he's the leader. So wherever you lead, I will follow. So all the people have to do to get a change is to follow what he's saying and do what he's asking to do. And that's a simple thing. But you know how it is. People, everyone has their own way and their own agenda. But at some time, you have to come together and think. If you want to lift something and it's too heavy, you are alone fighting. You ask some people, you come together and everybody lift, you lift it and put it in place. Then what I have to say about yesterday, I was going through the traffic. I saw a policeman trying to give the traffic direction. And I saw him and said, well, what, this in the traffic and you're doing that, you can do it a better way. But after I pass him now, just going by way of crossing from the Esplanade Mall to go over to by Digicel there. Mm-hmm. I saw, from far I saw someone come and make out their body as a thing, and they look like a tourist, like the complexion. But when I get closer, I saw it was one of the Imani. And that young lady had on her white gloves and her uniform, and she's well dressed. But the way her complexion, she's just like an American with her complexion, like a white person. So I said, what? She looks so smart with her white clothes. So I'm appealing to the police, even it's a Gary time. I told you, he stopped and asked the man, what's your name?
Right.
And you don't tell him what, but the policeman supposed to dress neat and wear a glove. That is in the law. If a police is giving anyone direction with something without in the hand that you can recognize, that's a problem. You can lose your case. It happened in the courthouse. I witnessed it.
Okay.
Right? So I think they should do something better about that.
Thank you very much, sir.
The Commissioner of Police arm all the traffic officers with a glove. If it's not a white one, it's a colored thing, so you can recognize it. Thank you.
Thank you. All the best to you, sir. 435-2041. There was a caller that called and was making queries regarding you're trying to get through to one of the NDC's offices. Well, I just trying to go through here, and I can tell you one of the numbers, which is one of the pages, the websites here, which is 444-6632. ask for a number for one of the NDC's office, and certainly once you get a hold, I would assume you could get contact with one office. They would be able to assist you with the others. Also, there is an email address. There's an email address which is secretariat, SECRETARIAT, secretariat at ndcgrenada.org. Right? And very often, I think sometimes there are people we try to appeal, yes, we need help. And while help is being offered, we do not realize that there are so many options that are available. A young person has a cell phone. They pull out the cell phone. They Google it. There are ways to help ourselves. And I'm not saying the person may not be available, but certainly the alternative. One option doesn't work. There are secondary options that we can use to try to address our situations in life. 435-2041. We go back to the telephone lines. Good morning, caller. You're alive.
Hello.
Good morning. You're alive.
Now, to some extent, establishing things that could never be true. For example, I wanted to say the GBN is called in certain program to the point. And to the point could mean nothing else but to the point. So people have an idea. Whenever they are saying something, they are making valid maybe accusation or valid complaint. At the same time, bear in mind, we say, or we are saying, or some of us are saying, that we are trying to transform Grenada. That might be a good because we are transformation. That would be a very, very good thing. Now, a lot of us in Grenada, we have to transform Grenada to a place where everybody should get help. And this is what some of us believe. We have an idea that somebody has to mind some children for those who have 12 and 13 children. So you have permission to do what you want in your early life, but then when you become a little bit poor, or you come real poor because you did the wrong thing, then you expect somebody to help you. Everybody in Grenada is calling out for help. I want help because I want to educate myself. I still want help.
Okay.
I'm not educated. I don't know if you are. Possible you are. I cannot judge you because I am not. So when I look at these things, it's time that people understand. If we say, I'm not saying I'm educated, we are educated, we should be able to understand that all of us cannot get help. And certain parents supposed to help their children, and certain children supposed to help their parents. I don't know what people make their children for. Some say to make them to mind them. I don't even believe that. Because if the children have to mind the parents, then I don't know what become of the children afterwards.
Okay.
Everybody is supposed to educate themselves and underline the word educate and put it in a bracket, and you could even circle it afterwards too.
And I would just
people have a right to help themselves.
And I would just
everybody
want to
calling on minister to help them.
And I would just want to remind you, in fact, that reminded you that the program is called To the Point.
Yeah. To the point. And I want to remind you to change it from to the point. Because if I don't say what I have to say, I wouldn't be able to make a point.
Well,
because it has to be meaningful.
I think, my dear sir, that's why we need to sharpen on our summary skills,
anyhow,
our ability to essay and be detailed. We can't assume it is okay, and that's part of our development. That we need to be cognizant of the need to manage our time, and everybody has this time. You cannot assume that you can call the station and go on and on and on and on about issues, and especially when 25 minutes gone past the hour in the morning time. We need to help each other. To the point, let's be succinct, get to the point, and let's move on, and not be threading needles and going in circles about issues that very often has much to do about nothing. 25 minutes gone past the hour in the morning time. We go back to the telephone lines. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Joe. Thank you for taking my call.
It's no problem.
Just an observation. With regards to a person might run on a particular party ticket for election, but when the election is over and whoever emerges as winner, then what you have is the parliamentary representative. So the person for Tempe area that is Senate Judges Northeast, they want to see the parliamentary representative, and that is Honorable Ron Redhead.
Correct.
So that is in his constituency. So, I mean, you no longer have NNP, NDC, or independent. They are the parliamentary representative. So regardless to who is that person, even if those on the opposition, they are also the parliamentary representative.
Correct.
And they have to go to the various offices to make an appointment or whatever it is, but they are now the parliamentary representative for everybody involved.
Correct.
Have a great day and thank you.
Thank you. All the best to you. All the best to you. And I think therein lies the challenge. There's been a conversation of the need for local government because you vote an individual to represent you. However, when they go into the parliament, they take up a ministerial role that keeps them busy doing a million other things. And sometimes we need to find a balance, and that's why there's been the call for local government. So why do we not be able to find the MP, the minister? You might be able to find another person that's there as a representative that can take care and address some of your pertinent issues. 23 minutes onto the hour in the morning time. It is to the point for today, the 4th day of the month of January. We go back to the telephone lines. Good morning, caller. You're live.
Good morning.
Good morning.
You know, you have to pardon some of the persons that want to talk a little bit longer because, you know, your media is most times that's the only place that people can talk. You can't get through to anyone else. What the people are calling to say this morning about trying to get through to the parliamentary reps, it's real, you know. You can't get anyone else except GBN.
And I understand the concern, and I'm saying there is always alternative ways to deal with issues. You can't get them on the telephone. Maybe you make a visit. There are alternative ways to address different issues, and that's all I'm saying. I did not number to defense to anybody. I'm just saying if you press hard enough, then certainly at some point you just might be able to get through one way or the other. 435-2041. We go back to the telephone lines. Good morning, caller. You're alive.
Hello, good morning, Joe. How are you?
I'm wonderful, thank you. And
how was your night?
It was wonderful, thank you.
All right, Joe, you know what I noticed with some callers? They use the radio station. I don't know if it's to make certain people feel bad, but to me, some of them use the radio station, ask for help, and they don't need the help. The reason for that, I heard a lady been calling several times and ask about help when she go to get she medication. It never have in the health center, and they telling her to buy it. She don't have the money to buy it. Joe, I call the station and I offer to help that lady 3 months supply. I didn't know how much for the medication. The lady came in truth. She tell me she using one for $100 and next one is $50. So she recommend she go take the $50 for the month. I say, okay, I give her the $50. And I told her I have 2 months more supply for her. You know that lady never come back to me. Never call, never come and receive it. So our next lady hear me on the radio, and that lady send a month supply for me. So that lady would have received 4 months supply.
Right.
Joe, I hold that money for how much months? And she never come not to say I had to find, and she didn't know where I am. Okay. So I use up the money, and right now I have no money. So I find people must be fair in their judgment. If you ask for help and you get help, I feel that lady should come back and collect it.
Okay.
That's just me, you know.
Fair enough.
So that's why I find some people just use the radio station for wrong reasons.
Okay, thank you for your contribution.
Okay.
20 minutes on to the hour in the morning time. It is to the point. It's for the fourth day. And so then we started off the program by trying to get you a sense. What is it can you do? Can I do? I keep saying, I've said to individuals that there are decisions and things that we can make in our own lives that can help to change our circumstances. So some of you probably go party every weekend. You go with the boys. Do you necessarily need to go party? Some people, you're living in a household, you have 2-3 vehicles. I mean, it may possibly mean that does everybody have to drive out 8 o'clock in the morning in one vehicle? Maybe, right? So we need to start asking ourselves those really serious questions. But we go back to the telephone lines. Good morning, caller. You're alive.
Good morning, brother. How you doing?
I'm wonderful, thank you.
This morning I listened to a program this morning, and I heard this caller mention that based on the grant that somebody got you and they boasting and say they don't need the money, but they might as well just go for it because they has a friend who's a politician and they're gonna BS them. But I'm just saying that if that's true, that's really, really sad because this money was meant for people that went through the COVID, who got laid off, who have small businesses that struggle and suffer under the COVID. So you could give them a little boost. And there is so much small business that crashed, that went under.
Uh-huh.
And that money would have been a lifeline to get them back up. But those that is functioning now could give them a lifeline to push a little bit further.
Uh-huh.
And to have these people disapplying because of the link and get you, that's really, really sad. You don't surprise me. Grenada and Grenadians would always be that. They always try to mess up something that is good.
I don't think that's just Grenadians, so that's human nature. But that situation, and I always ask, is that something factual? Where's the evidence? There are ways to deal with these things. If it's something that has happened, and you figure that somebody is trying to rig the system as it is, or probably trying to other ways to. Let's come together and deal with the issue. And for instance,
how are we going to do that?
But my dear sir, yesterday you called and you raised a concern. I gave you my number. I gave you my email address. I said to you, send me the information. I still await.
Yeah, don't worry. You're going to get it.
I'm not worried. And that's something I'm saying. Here you saying you have another situation. All I'm saying, you have my email address. Send me the information. That's the way we help address those concerns.
So what do you supposed to do as a journalist?
You calling me in the capacity. If you need a journalist, sir, then you need to find somebody in the newsroom. You're not calling me in my capacity as a journalist, sir. If you have a story that you need to get out, then I can suggest to you.
No, I'm not telling you the story. I'm telling you something I heard on a program. Right. I'm saying that's true. Oh, you just bring me down this rat hole where
so hold on, sir.
We go down this.
But I got the sense that you were saying that you had information.
No, if you listen carefully, you're not listening. People call and you're not listening. You're just arguing.
Oh, I'm not.
Arguing people.
So no, I'm not.
I don't know why you're doing that.
So no, I'm not listening because I asked you to.
No, you cut off an old lady just now. They were 82 years, which is very, very disrespectful.
I cut her off.
Yeah, I don't like it at all.
You know, I didn't cut her off, so you were not hearing her. There is a big difference, sir.
I was hearing her good.
And then I took the voice. You see, sir, and there are people that even like yourself that you want to engage in a one-on-one, sir.
You're too ignorant, Joe.
Okay, sir. God bless you. Have a great day.
You're too ignorant, brother.
No, I'll be cutting you off if you don't.
No problem, bro. GPS is going down anyway.
Have a great day, sir. Have a great day.
You too, brother, man.
435-2041. We call the stations and we make assertions about people taking. And when I ask you, well, how do you substantiate those claims you're making? Then you figure that I'm not supposed to. This radio station, the program is not intended for individuals to sit home and just call willy-nilly, as they say, and just make these random comments. But we're going to go back to the telephone lines. Good morning, caller. You're live.
Yes, good morning, Joe. Don't worry. I know it's a hard role to host an open line, so don't worry.
I'll be fine.
God is there. Sometimes you just have to laugh, yeah? And not sound as if it's getting into you. Sometimes you just have to laugh. But I guess if it was the old days and you're just on radio where you could hold your head and, do all kind of antics.
And lie back in the chair.
No, you have to sit there and look seen because people are watching you. So it's even harder now. But why I'm calling this morning, my point is that I would like, as the transformation takes place, that the word local takes center stage and not continue secondary as we are doing to it, in terms of what we eat, in terms of music, in terms of everything. Like you may hear an announcer say, okay, for the next half an hour we bring you some local music. I mean, come on, this is a local station. The most music should be local. In the preschools and so, there is one day set aside for local food. You understand? Where children must come with, no, that should be reversed. That should be reversed. The one day should be for foreign things. And we should be living Grenada every day. Every day, young children should be eating okros and sucking mango and watching it running down their elbow and so on. We are losing our Caribbean culture. And we are not paying attention of what we are doing to it. Okay, so that's my point.
Thank you very much, my dear.
All right.
Have a great day.
Okay.
45202041, and that's the number on the inside. Nestor, yes, it says I want to make a plea to GBN for the new year concerning having the journalists on the sister isles to bring news of the many things that's taken place on the island. 452041. That is the number on the inside, and certainly we're going to going back to the telephone lines. And good morning, caller. You are live.
Good morning, Joe. How are you, sir?
I'm fine, thank you.
Joe, what I would like to see as the new year started, I would like to see the better policing.
Right.
Because you have roads that they could open as a main road, like Montu Road there. Because sometimes you coming down and you're coming down Ghana, and when you see the traffic ban and you hit Montu, it's a nice road, but so many vehicles parked on the side of the road, so you end up getting stuck. You have other places again where the government widen the roads, and from the time they widen the roads, it's on a parking area, like if you're going up Golf Course. Right. That road also now, the government widen it now when you're going up there, will hold a vehicle parking in those areas. So I want to see that the police get around and put signs and tell them no parking. Some people parking on corners and so on, all that are causing accidents. So I like to see the police and them go on and look at them places. Because what's going on now, the hierarchy police, those big police don't go on anymore. They just see them in the office. Long time ago, you've seen them on the road. I remember the time, like, they had a guy they call Church and Buragi, they riding bikes and so on. Then they have one they call Angel. He used to wear short khaki pants in those days. And he go around on the bike and see what's taking place. When you see those police now, they have to go around and see what's taking place so they could make some changes. They need to make a lot of changes now. You understand? I do think that causing accidents. So I'm looking forward to see some changes, and in those ways.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much. And that's a very important point that the call is making this morning. I mean, you look at the traffic congestion, and a lot of places, not just during the rush, this is what we call the rush period, but certainly the whole conversation issue of this wanton parking of vehicles on the side of the road. I mean, and some of the roads are as narrow as it is. You come down St. Jules Street, that road where all of the buses they come down to enter into the bus terminus. The road is as narrow as can be, but yet why there are vehicles parked there and what is a one-way street and it's already a narrow street? I don't know. I really and truly don't know. I mean, we talk about the congestions and all of these different issues, and I'm saying very often the issue is not necessarily about the law, but it's the enforcement of the law. And hopefully, certainly, I know the IGPF, while they might be stretched, or they have their hands filled a lot of different issues, certainly they would consider doing that which they can to address the situation. We go back to the telephone lines, 11 minutes on to the hour of 10 o'clock. Good morning, caller. Good morning, caller.
Yeah, good morning.
Yes, you're live.
Yeah, I'm calling from Karaku.
Yes, go ahead, please, Karaku.
Yeah, I heard the Prime Minister talking about everybody got to come on board in this transformation. But for we as a people to change, we have to change our mindset. I remember during the revolution, everybody used to come out and do voluntary work.
Right.
You got to fix a piece of road, the government supply the material, and everybody in the community come together. We are not to depend on government to do everything, because at the end of the day, if government has to do everything, the money has to be coming from the coffers. We need to be more patriotic.
Thank you, okay, sir. Thank you. Point taken.
Yeah, we need to be more patriotic.
Okay, sir. Thank you. All the best to you. 435-204-2041. That's the number on the inside. It's with 8 minutes onto the hour of 10 o'clock in the morning time. And certainly we're getting ready to wrap the program for today. We're going to go back to the telephone lines. Good morning, caller. You're on live.
Yes. Good morning, Uncle Joe.
Good morning to you, sir.
Thank you very much indeed. Well, I don't really want to complain too much, to be honest. I don't really want to bring my problems to the public in any case. But I'm still suffering here as a person in a wheelchair. And I'm wondering because the seed program, which I was told about many months ago, long before the election, and again, there's a change of government, and I don't really want to complain too much, but I'm wondering exactly what's happening. But anyway, let me wish you all the best.
Okay. Let me just ask you one basic question. You're shut in, and you need some social assistance. You need some assistance.
Uncle Joe.
No, if you tell me yes, no, I'll take your number, and when I hang up, I will have somebody call you.
I wish you all the best for the new year, the new year that is on, and hope to see, some sort of a change in the future. Thank you very much.
So you would... Okay, that's quite awkward. You needed help, and I'm going to help you. I was going to provide you with a direct contact number. It doesn't seem to be quite interested. What say you? 435-2041, that is the number on the inside. Probably have time to entertain one final caller for the morning. And certainly we go back to the telephone lines. Good morning, caller. You are live.
Good morning, Joseph.
Good morning to you, sir.
Last weekend, one of the callers had called and complained about the fact that the entire Christmas period there was no news on the radio, and I think maybe going forward in future, radio listeners should be considered for news on the weekend, because there's a shortage from Saturday morning, from Friday. There's no news, so maybe even they just probably give an elderly gentleman that called.
Okay.
And I was saying that he wants to hear what's going on. I think he has a valid point. Now, one of the things I hope that we can look at going forward is the plight of the elderly in our country, not just from a charitable point of view, but our attitude to people, elderly nature, stage in life. And that many years ago I've been calling for us to have a National Salvation Conference, intergenerational conference, where we can settle some issues so that there could be some kind of harmony between the generations.
Right.
It seems as though there's a total disconnect between the younger generation and the older one. And the younger generation are missing out a lot, because what the older generation has to be passed on to the younger one. They are not getting that eventually. What I see is a future of slaves who don't know themselves, don't know how to cope with things. For instance, when you look at what happened during Hurricane Ivan, where the older people did all the major rehabilitative work, and the younger people were just sitting down. And we had to have some young people from Venezuela come in to help, while some people even scorn on them. So we have to find a way to integrate the generation that we could both, benefit from each other's advantage. Youth have strength and so on. The older people have wisdom and so on. So I would urge maybe that you use your office so that maybe generate some conversation on that. Thank you very much for your indulgence.
Thank you very much, sir. And that was to make it a final caller for the morning, just getting ready to wrap up the program. And just to share before we go that, and very often persons we assume in our heads, we know what we want. And we assume that the procedures that we have, the thoughts we have, was the right ones. So shall I say, for persons who have a social need, we very often, and thank you for the contributor that reminded me of that your MP are not the ones. There is a Ministry of Social Development. So for that lady, which I gave you a number for the party office, but very often therein lies the challenge. If you have an issue, there is a Ministry of Social Development that handles those things. I guess we've gotten into the culture of we go into the politicians to do that. I'm going to the MP. And that may have its place and time. You want to get something done within the community. But if somebody has a genuine social need, that addresses the need to take care of children, that sort of stuff, the Ministry of Social Services, Lady Dawn Cyrus, and then certainly I know if I gave her a number, she would have no problems with it. So certainly we need to change the way we think, our perspective, our culture. There must be a paradigm shift in the way that we think and the way that we behave. Yes, we've done it for years, but it doesn't make it the right. It doesn't make it the right way, not at all. 5 minutes on to the hour. This is as far as I can take the conversation. I want to say thanks to all of the contributors that contributed online. Thank you, Anesta. Good morning to you. I say good morning to Carl Thompson, Leisure Cameron, and everyone else that is there online. We say thanks for being part of the conversation. Thanks for being part of To The Point. Yes, we'll leave the conversation here for now, but certainly I'll continue to keep you company up until 12 midday. Until